Duo lane, they are absolutely terrifying right now, but CJ Blaze has been rolling through this group, and Team Immunity needs to win here.
Yes, most likely. I think it's close to impossible unless Rampage beat Energy Pacemaker for them to go through, and I don't know the result of that match yet, so...
It's such a shame, though, because they had that lead when they were playing against Energy Pacemaker, and they couldn't close out that game, and it would be a very different position for them in this game otherwise.
It would. I mean, they kind of come into this expecting to lose, so they needed to win the other 3 games here in the group, and couldn't get it done against Energy Pacemaker. Currently 2-1 here in this group, and yeah, they can make it, but they do have to slay Blaze, and that is quite a titan to kill here in this matchup.
Well, at least they, they've gotten some good experience at the very least coming here, and it was impressive that they got a lead against a team that was in the LPL. So, I mean, that really shows a lot that they're able to compete with teams that are playing professionally in major global leagues.
Yeah, I was talking about it before, actually. Papa and I were casting that sort of heartbreaking game there when they played up against Energy Pacemaker, and Rady, their captain, their AD carry, arguably their star player, says he thinks the new lineup is definitely an upgrade, and their old team was fairly strong when they're showing in the International Wildcard Tournament, so we'll see what they can do here. They've had a lot of fun here at WCG, but my goodness, do they have to kill some pretty giant players in order to do anything here.
And Emperor, the new AD carry, coming in as part of the reconstruction of Blaze. Neo Blaze, as a lot of fans like to call it, and there's an old man on Blaze, Ambition, in the mid lane. But, Blaze looked very good earlier when Doe and I were casting them against Rampage. It was a very, very, very one-sided game.
Yeah, it sounded fun. At least Rampage seemed like they were having fun. I heard they 5-man hunted Flame and then killed him, and that was good.
They killed him and then surrendered. So basically, they hadn't had a kill yet in the game, and so they decided they were just going to create a 5-man gank squad, take out Flame, and then immediately surrender afterwards. Yes, they took it in high spirits at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze here have looked strong here. There's Daydream, their jungler, who I think is a really important change for Blaze, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Daydream, and I've been a big fan of his ever since the Club Masters days and his time on Zenix Storm, and he always stood out as such an aggressive jungler, such an interesting gank-oriented player, and I'm so happy to see that a team finally took a risk on him. His playstyle is a little different than many other junglers, but it is pretty fun, and his brother is actually also on Blaze. Baimi, their substitute mid laner. So brothers with Daydream.
Well, and the man himself, arguably the star player here on Blaze, but that is Flame, and he is, I think, the #1 enemy that Immunity really want to try and kill here in this game, because he is just an absolute beast.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick out a star player on Blaze.
That's true.
Just because their Ambition is, the all-star mid laner, and for Korea, there's a very powerful team that has lacked teamwork, but they look like they're coming together with their play calling at long last, and they've got one more game left in this group, and they're the challengers whom you know very well.
Yes, Team Immunity been around for quite a while here in Australia. I've known most of their members for at least 3 years since I started casting. And we're going to start with Rosie here. He's actually playing under his old ID, Venom, here in this tournament. Oh, there we are, saying hi.
His old ID, huh?
Yeah, I mean, players like to switch IDs. It's really frustrating, but Venom is what he was classically known as, so that's what he's playing under in this tournament for whatever reason. But he is a very aggressive support player. A lot of you may remember him from the Gamescom tournament. He absolutely loves Annie and Lulu. We expect to see a lot of that here today. There's Rady, the AD I was talking about, the captain of their team, the star of their team as well. Didn't play so hot in an Energy Pacemaker game, unfortunately, but he's got a very deep champion pool. He's always been consistent, and if he gets big or gets ahead, that's a really, really good thing for Immunity here, especially against such strong opposition in Blaze.
Yeah, with how aggressive you're talking about their dual lane being, little kiss for the crowd there from Swiffer. Got his boxing kangaroo too.
That's the team mascot, Skippy.
But if both teams really like to trade then in terms of their dual lanes, so we may see some very aggressive play and a lot of action down in the bot lane if that's the case.
Swiffer looked really good in the Energy Pacemaker game as well. He actually destroyed their mid laner in that game on Oriana, so he's looking really hot this tournament. If he can keep that up as well, I mean, it's against Ambition, so that's quite the tall order here. As Spooks there is all their jungler, also loves to play aggressively, and the man with probably the best smile in Australia, good old Swiper there in top lane. He also has a lot of challenge. I mean, you mentioned the solo laners for Blaze being so good. I mean, Swiper and Swiffer are not poor players, but beating Koreans is pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got 2 R's in his Swiper too.
Did he? That's interesting.
Yeah, he has 2 R's in Swiper. We take a look right here at the end. Swipe. I mean,
does 2?
Maybe he's a pirate. That's why he needs so many R's.
Wow. That's a dollar level joke. I guess he's not here. Now you have to fill in. I get it. It's been a fantastic WCG so far as well. This is our last League of Legends game of the day, I think, at least on the main stage. It's actually the last game on the stage at all here, and we are going to get in the champ select here. And draft, as always, Monty, going to be very, very important between these two teams.
Well, looks like Immunity will have that blue, and that's a smart ban right now, Riven. Now, they probably haven't been playing, against CJ Blaze, but with how strong that champion has become in Champions, they'll probably good to go ahead and take it out right now, especially because I'm sure both Ambition and Flame capable of playing that champion. You want to know where things are going. Nunu taken out, interestingly.
That's a target at Daydream, I believe, has been playing quite a bit of Nunu in OGN.
Yeah, and a little bit of Aatrox, a little bit of Lee Sin as well, but Elise and Lee Sin both taken out by Blaze. This is a very interesting pick ban phase for CJ Blaze.
They're kind of picking on Spooks here. Elise and Lee Sin are kind of his two champions. He loves to play aggressive kind of pressure style junglers, and those two in particular are the ones he loves to play the most. He's playing a lot of them recently, so them getting taken out there. The Orianna, of course, a target ban against Swiffer, who, as I said, played absolutely incredibly in the game up against Energy Pacemaker. Riven and Jax in particular are champions that Immunity do not play, so they don't want to play against them because of how good they are, especially in the hands of CJ Blaze.
Well, the Aatrox will be the pickup, looks like, here for Daydream. Not a surprise, and the Nidalee is left up, and that will go through, and wow, that's bold to take the Shyvana over the Nidalee in the current patch of 3-1-3, especially because it looks like actually Flame will be playing Nidalee in the top lane. He just switched over to Barrier, so a good indication for us as casters as to where that one's going to go.
Yep, and that's Zillion. I don't think we'll be seeing that one here from Spooks, but Australian's going to have a little fun here. Shyvana and Renekton, definitely the two champions that Swiper likes to play, so not too surprised to see them pick either of them, but they could have maybe left both of them open, see what CJ picked, and then gone from there. And you're right, giving Nidalee over, who's actually got a lot of respect here in this tournament.
It's actually, I really, this is the team you don't want to leave Nidalee up on, because it's not, it could go top, it could go mid, especially when you have CJ Blaze as the red team with the last pick right now. They don't even have to make a decision about where it's going, and it gives them such an advantage in terms of getting favorable matchups. So I don't know about that, but they do get both Annie and Lucian, so that is a plus. There were a lot of kind of powerful champions that slipped through this time due to kind of Riven, Nunu, and Jax bans, which we normally don't see. So it looks like Immunity really wanted to make sure that enough of these powerful champions were up that they could get their hands on a few of them.
Yep, so Lucian here going to go in second, and of course that Annie most likely going to be in support. Swiffer, I'm sure, can play in the mid, but it's been Venom's champion for a very, very long time. And looks like Thresh and Corki going to be the picks here.
Yeah, pretty standard picks for Blaze bot lane. Ember's really stuck by Corki, even though we have seen nerfs to the champion, and Lustboy, if he can't get Annie, he's really going to fall back on Thresh these days. And I think a Blitzcrank will, with Annie already picked, probably not going to happen, but
it would be interesting. I mean, Venom plays a fantastic Blitzcrank. Again, he loves to play aggressive supports, but I think, Cassidy, that would be a Swiffer champion if there ever was one. But a little dangerous here because the mid laner, ostensibly at this point, has not been picked up by Blaze. They have a lot of options here to potentially punish Cassidy, but I think they're going to go for it.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see where. Switching over to Xin Zhao, a bit of a surprise right there.
Yeah.
So that looks like that'll be coming out of the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, Spooks, again, loves to play aggressive junglers. Played Vi in the game against Energy Pacemaker. Didn't work out so well. And with Elise and Lee Sin both targeted at him, he kind of needs to go to something else. I thought he would go to default J4, but he's gone to Xin Zhao here instead. And, I mean, why not? You kind of got to put in everything here to beat a team like Blaze. And last pick, Rengar, is going to be up there for Flame potentially in the top lane.
Yeah, before that, they were definitely planning on putting Nidalee on Flame, but after seeing the Cassidy pickup, they changed it out. So Ambition going to take him, and Flame switching off that barrier. I mean, this is an interesting team composition, but pretty classic Blaze. Early aggression with Daydream right now, and you're going to have that unstoppable split push from Flame. I mean, we've seen what Shy has been able to do on Frost, the sister team in Champions, with Rengar, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, Rengar is just, especially if he gets ahead at all, even if you're just building effectively like a melee bruiser on Rengar, there's just so much work he does, whether he's dueling other people, pushing out towers, or just joining in teamfights and initiating. There's a lot of power there in that champion. And Rengar, I think finally starting to see a little bit more play in the last few months again, which has been fantastic. I mean, I have to say, from what I know about Immunity, this is their lineup. If they can't win with this, then, I mean, it is against Blaze to be perfectly fair, but this is absolutely the comp they would have wanted coming in here, and I think Blaze probably have a lot of their comfortable champions as well. I mean, personally, I'm very worried about Ambition's Nidalee.
Yeah, well, it's quite scary, and we're going to get into this game right now, guys. Loading up as we speak. Again, Australia's immunity versus South Korea's CJ Ensis Blaze in the final game of the group stage here for League of Legends at WCG.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good WCG so far, and of course, been fantastic games of League of Legends.
You got interrupted by the epic music.
That music was very epic. I mean, I'll take it. That music was pretty sweet. We are going to have Team Immunity here up against South Korea's CJ Blaze. Immunity on the left here on the blue side for this best of one. Over on the right, CJ Ensis Blaze going to be on the red side here. Definitely a big hill to climb here for the Australians if they want to get through their groups here. And Blaze looking to, I think, go undefeated, I assume, at this point.
Oh, yeah. They need to get out first in their group. You know, they don't want to end up on the same side of the bracket as a team like OMG. So a bit of a cautious level 1 here, just a fan into the river. And will Immunity go for something a bit more bold? They're stacking right now behind the red buff, and nobody coming through try, so.
They could do. I mean, they're waiting pretty patiently. Annie's a great champion having a level 1 invade. There's a ward being put down there by Venom. Going to maybe try and catch somebody here. I mean, they'd love a first blood here. I mean, not even just, you know, to kind of get some advantage, but just momentum and to kind of be like, okay, we did manage to kill one of them. They're not unkillable.
Right. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to do anything aggressive at all. A bit of a surprise with the Annie. They have a lot of potential and they can face check a little bit better, but Venom and Raid are just going to go ahead and sit in the river brush, and they might try and get a catch here. We'll see how long they're going to wait for it before they head back into lane, but if they can get an early stun on Lustboy and Emperor, could be very good for their laning phase.
Yeah. They could also just move in towards the blue and try and interrupt or disturb the jungle. If you force Daydream to use Smite, you get a little bit of advantage there, kind of slows down his jungle just a little bit. So maybe they're just looking for some pressure here. I know they've got some pretty creative stuff they've done from this brush in the past, but they're playing pretty safe here. I have to say, I think Immunity's underwarding a little here.
They're sticking outside of the brush right now and coming down right as the blue buff spawns. And yeah, we will see a little bit of harassment here on the blue.
Just some pressure. They have to be careful of Threshold. They do not want to get hooked here. They need to kind of throw a ward in too if they want to really get stuff done. Spooked actually smites his blue there as well. You can see Lustboy just looking up. There's a bit of poke there from Lucian. It looks like blue's going to be pretty secured pretty safely here.
Yeah, just back off. Well, they did what they could right there. They did force Daydream to use that smite, so that's not going to be a tool that's available for him in the future. And looking at this right now, you know, the interesting thing about the Rengar-Shyvana matchup is, you know, Rengar really runs away with the split pushing once he gets a couple tank items. And wow, Daydream coming in early.
Very aggressive here. There's the Q. Not quite the knock-up. Venom, though, kind of panic flashes a little there. Thought he was going to take a little more damage there and does keep himself safe by burning up. But yeah, that was very cheesy there from Daydream at level 2.
Yeah. Smart play, though, getting the Summoner out early. That's going to eliminate a lot of possible aggression that Venom and Radar are going to be able to put down. Flame and Swiper already playing pretty aggressively, going blow for blow up in this top lane. So with the Rengar, though, you know, he is strong once he gets the Sunfire and the Spirit Visage. But, you know, he's not going to be able to out-duel a Shyvana with the same item. So all things being even, we do see a little bit of a power trough for Rengar after those 2 tank items are completed and right before he can get a Trinity Force or a Blade of the Ruined King or something where he can actually deal damage. So strong in the early game based on his stats, his basic abilities, and his base stats. And then kind of falls off a little bit compared to other tanky bruisers like Shyvana, like Renekton, and then comes back really hard in the late game.
Yeah, looks like Swiper there really ate a lot in that trade and forced it back off. Spook's now in the mid, going to gank his favorite lane, and it is the mid lane. Remember, Spooks and Super have a long team history together, and Spooks is often getting the mid here. And I mean, it's Ambition's in Italy here. I mean, Swivers Cassin is fantastic, but he's going to need a lot of help here potentially, especially Cassin. It's such a weak early laner. Going to be happy to have any help that Zinjak can offer.
Yeah, not surprising that they would switch over to having Nidalee in the mid lane after seeing the Cassin pickup. Just very easy to get that harassment on, and pretty mobile as well if you need to escape. Well, Spooks coming back up for another try here. They know about the famous Ambition First Blood. They're seeking it. They're seeking it out.
I heard it was very bad to First Blood Ambition, though. According to you, if you kill Ambition, he comes back and kills you twice. So I don't know if they necessarily want to do that if they believe in the curse, but we'll see. And I think they'll walk through a ward there, so Ambition backing off a little. May have another shot here, but just going to continue doing some jungle.
Yeah, I mean, they have to do something with this Xin Zhao early is the issue, and Flame continuing just to give Swiper hell up in the top lane. If you pick the Xin Zhao, Daydream is hitting Spooks, and that'll proc his passive.
He actually could die here, and that passive is really important for Aatrox. Darkflight's out of the way, forced to flash as well. And Kassadin can't really come in, unfortunately. Ambition guarding very nicely there. In fact,
there's a flash going very nice.
Picks it up there onto Aatrox, and a little too aggressive there for Daydream, standing in the wrong spot. Gets himself killed.
I was actually wondering why he didn't use that flash a little bit earlier on, but waiting for the cooldown on his E so that he could make sure he secured that kill. Good patience from Spooks, and he's rewarded for it.
Super here taking a couple of spears to the face. Ambition harassing nicely here. Kassadin, of course, feastly melee, especially before he hits 6. All that mobility he gets from his ultimate, of course, needs his ultimate fall before he gets there. So he's going to eat spears here, just try and last hit as best he can. Thankfully, Kassadin does last hit reasonably well under turret. So if Ambition pushes him in, he's not too worried. Great hook though, Raid here. Could be in a lot of trouble. Their damage coming in a barrier. There's a great stop moves in. Emperor could be in trouble. The Lantern goes out, but he Valkyries instead. Now Raid here taking a lot of damage from Thresh. Looks like everybody's just going to back away slowly here. Really, really tight play there from Unity's bot lane.
Yeah, very impressive. Venom waiting right there with the stun and actually pretty much single-handedly turning that around. Now Raider did have to burn his barrier. We had both barriers burned, both ignites burned as well. So a bit of hard trading, but Immunity comes out on top. They'll be able to get that little bit of a CS advantage after having pushed Emperor out of lane. Daydream buzzing the mid lane right there. Letting Swiffer know exactly what's up. Spooks is here, though.
Coming through, he wants to try and get something done. Ambition taking a ton of damage there as Swiffer does come through. Now Ambition quite low here. Swiffer needs to keep moving in. Does get the kill there as Nidalee does go down. Now Daydream could be in a little bit of trouble. Gets Silence in there as well. The damage moves in. Swiffer not quite low enough. And Immunity pick up 2 clean kills there in the mid lane.
Well, they've got almost 1,000 gold lead right now. They've been able to keep up in CS very nicely also. So this is definitely going their way so far. They are winning multiple lanes against Blaze right now. The only one up top that's giving them trouble. And Flame continuing to harass, but even so, you know, Swiper has been able to at least farm a little bit.
Yeah, he's only 10 CS behind, which isn't too bad. This could get worse. If Flame is definitely a player known for really just punishing top laners. When they get behind, he makes sure you get very, very far behind. So a tough call here up for Shyvana, especially early on up against Rengar, but playing okay here, playing admirably, I'd say, and he'll be fine here up against Flame as long as he keeps playing and does not die. That's very important.
Yeah, well, Daydream really having trouble making plays on the map right now, and by buying Doran's rings too, he's only kind of setting himself further behind right now, but gotta hand it to Spooks. I was saying, you gotta, if you pick the Xin Zhao, you have to make the plays, and he's about to make another one.
Gonna go up here again, looking for Flame this time around. Swiper moving in. Spooks now gonna go in, I believe. Flame popped his ult, yes. Now he's invisible walking around. It's gonna wait for him. He's gonna walk all the way back to his tower though. Daydream not even close to maybe trying to get something done. Interested in diving potentially here, but Drady down the bottom, very, very low, forced to flash. Yeah,
but he didn't die. Very critical right now because you don't want to turn these lanes back around. But Lost Boy very low. If Venom may be able to go for this one with the auto, he takes it.
He does get it there. Forced to flash out from Emperor as he comes in with a Gatling gun. But Venom once again playing very aggressively here down the bottom. And Immunity have to feel good right now. 4-0 up as we do have a pause.
Of course we do, because it wouldn't be a game at WCG without a pause.
Correct. It's called a tournament pause for a reason. And about 1,500 gold in the lead as we do have a pause come out here. So a lead here for Immunity, but not a massive lead here. And especially when objectives start getting contested here. If CJ can pick some of those up, they'll equalize very, very quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately for CJ Blaze, though, with the early kill on Kassadin, that's going to be pretty problematic for them coming through. But Spooks used his couple of kills to get the boots of mobility along with those 2 Doran's blades. So he has a pretty big advantage in terms of making plays on the lanes and on the map right now over Daydream, just because he can rotate so much faster. And they can snowball this if they continue to just play smart and pick up these kills. They're already up 4 kills to nothing, and I'm very impressed with how they're playing.
Yeah, I feel like Daydream, I don't know what he was thinking when he kind of got caught by Spooks there and just left of mid, but he really cost himself there. Even if he didn't die and he did get first blooded, just losing your passive, you lose so much power on Aatrox if you want to dive, if you want to gank, or pressure and fight the enemy jungler. Daydream just has no option to do that right now. He basically just has to farm.
Right, and it's not only what you can't do, but it's the enemy team knowing that you can't do it. It's the mental pressure as well. They don't feel as scared about staying under turret. You know, it's the decision making and how the passive affects what you do in the game, even if it's not used. That is fantastic about Aatrox. So sometimes just having it up and never using it, but you know, it's just a better trade. So.
Yeah, I mean, just the threat of it, I think is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, is a big thing here. I mean, top lane, as we mentioned, not going great here. Swiper catching up a little on CS, but he's recalling at the moment, at least during the pause he's recalling. He could decide differently when he comes back up, but a little afraid potentially of Flame maybe going assassin mode, but I have a funny feeling he's just going to go Bruiser. If he gets a lot of farm, then this game goes reasonably late. That's a big, big threat there for that Rango.
Yeah, I mean, but I think at this point, CJ Blaze has to hope that this gets dragged out pretty late. They want to stall probably as much as they can to overcome this early deficit, and they may have to give up some objectives here as well, especially once we see Venom hitting 6, and he's going to be getting pretty close right there. They'll have a solid opportunity to go after an early dragon if they want it, because they did get that early kill onto Kassadin. So Ambition, as well, dying early, does have a little bit of a CS lead, but certainly not anywhere near as much as he would like.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be important for Immunity to stay objective focused here as well. Like, 4 kills is very nice and all, that does convert into a lead, but they need to make sure they keep snowballing the lead, and it's not enough. I mean, Blaze aren't going to get themselves killed that many more times recklessly if you're not really far ahead and you're able to really punish them. So I think the next Dragon's going to be pretty important, as you mentioned, and probably up in the next 2 minutes or so, in terms of when they want to start contesting for it.
Yeah, the main issue is that to get that kill, Venom did use his flash, so the engage is going to be weaker in that situation once he gets his ult. But still waiting on this pause, guys. Do you get to see lovely crowd shots instead?
They are lovely, aren't they?
They are. It's nice to be in China.
It's
a little bit chilly here.
It is. It's actually quite cold every time we walk between the buildings. It's just awful.
It doesn't get that cold in Sydney, does it?
No. It barely ever rains in Sydney, I'm pretty sure. That's the other city that no one likes. No, I shouldn't make fun of Melbourne. All the Australians watching right now are very angry at me. I apologize for nothing.
Only the ones who are from Melbourne, though, right?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think 3/5 of Immunity's team are from Melbourne, so can't be that bad. Anyway, I'm not sure what the issue is, but looks like players are maybe ready to go soon. Shouldn't be too bad. As you said, wouldn't be a WCG without a pause here.
Yes, has been having issues with the tournament realm in the first couple of days. Be nice to get those ironed out at some point, but in the meantime, I'm not even sure what they're doing during the pauses either.
I'm not sure. I wonder what the kangaroo's doing.
Have you ever boxed a kangaroo?
No.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I ride them to school.
Okay, good.
And to work.
In the pouch, of course, right?
Yeah, we actually flew here on a kangaroo. That's how I got here. We just hopped across the ocean. It was great. A little bumpy, but...
The most efficient form of transport.
Yeah.
Just from island to island, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they know. We got Skippy, the team mascot. Is that we are.
What's his name?
Skippy.
Skippy.
The only name for a kangaroo. Looks like we are maybe going to be back into the game now. Game has unpaused, and here we are. Back again. Venom has to be quite careful here. There's Ember going aggressive. Good Dark Blood for Blades of Torment coming in. And that's a very clinical. Maybe a trade, though. There's the tally. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
This is an uncharacteristically sloppy game of Daydream. I mean, his aggression's really being countered at every turn. And Ambition going to go after some delicious wraiths.
They are delicious, aren't they? Spooks here, maybe not going to have any of that. Never mind. Just kind of walks past it. He's like, damn, that was my raid. You stole it.
Day late and $1 short, sir.
Swift turning on his cast. And has Tyr that got us up now, so going to be building, I assume, towards Archangel stuff. I think Rod of Ages really fell off for Kassadin, it seems like.
Yeah, it has seemed like that. But if you get an early lead on Kassadin, though, it makes a lot more sense to go Tyr, because basically you don't need those combat stats as early. And I certainly agree with just stacking that Tyr as a decision over the Rod of Ages in this scenario.
Yeah, I think interestingly, one of the things that's happened in this game because of Daydream actually not being able to exert the pressure they might want to is that look at Swiper now. He's actually catching quite far, but he's pushing his Ambition. He's going to get really dunked on here. So much damage with the knock-up in there as well. Dark Blight's going to come through. Spooks does pick up the kill there as Red Buff's able to get that one.
It was a nice kill, and they got the flash as well out of Ambition, so they're really putting the screws to CJ Blaze right here. A pretty surprising turn of events. I don't think either of us thought this game was going to be going this way early on. Flame still trading very actively, and Daydream coming back. He will pop his passive on a kill of Swiffer.
Nice kill there from Spooks. It does manage to jump back on top of him, and that will kill Daydream once again. So the only kills here for Blaze have actually been trades, and it's Daydream both times actually. The God Swiper though could get 1v1. He's forced the Dragon's Descent out from the top lane. Was having fun pushing for a little while, but Rengar's still very, very strong.
Interesting to see that Rayder is going for what appears to be the Bloodthirster Lucian build as well. So a little bit concerned with the poke that's coming out. Needs that extra sustain early on in this game. But it is working out. I mean, they've got the 2 kills so far coming in, and Lustboy trying to set himself up for a bit of a hook here. Gets found out by the ward.
Very smart ward there from Venom. Walks around the box though as well. Damage going to come in action. One Emperor though, as Tibbers drops down, but Venom's taking way too much damage here, and he will get picked up. So a great hook as well from Lustboy. Lanson riding back in there as well as Emperor, trying to make the kill happen. Looks like Spooks is rotating in. There's a double kill for Emperor, as that's going to go down as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay right there, mostly on the anti-ultimate, trying to zone out Emperor, but there's just not enough damage. I mean, if we look at the Phage, compared to the Vampiric Scepter, going to do a lot more in terms of being able to chase down some of these kills later on in the fight, like we saw, and better use of skills overall by Lustboy compared to Venom. Also,
yeah, I mean, for how smart a player Venom is and how well he's been doing in the early game, I actually expect him to try and kill Lustboy here as Swiffer, jump on top of Ambition. I mean, this is really when Cassidy gets very, very annoying, when he can riff walk on top of you and just do damage after damage after damage. Here again, maybe looking for the kill. Vision popping barrier there, actually throwing a spear as he runs. No ignite there, unfortunately for Cassidy, so couldn't quite close it, but he gets a summoner.
I mean, Ambition really having a hell of a time right here, in spite of being up in CS. Just not really able to hang with Swiffer after those couple early ganks by Spooks, setting him pretty darn far behind. Now, the issue is that out of the 7 kills, Spooks has 4 of them right now, and that's definitely not ideal because this Xin Zhao actually isn't going to do much more with money. First couple of kills, okay, you get the boost of mobility, you have more presence on the map. Now, it doesn't really matter anymore. So, it is getting a little too bad that it's not actually getting onto the carries at this point.
Yeah, he's going to look to try and convert into something like Dragon, I think, at this point. But CJ, as always, are warding exceptionally there, and they've got 2 wards around the area and plenty around the bottom as well. Not to mention a Vision ward also up towards the top there to make sure Flame's going to stay safe here. I mean, Dragon an objective needs to be contested at some point here from the community. The gold lead's actually very, very slim now.
Yeah, it's quickly catching back up, and a lot of that's coming through the CS difference. The CS advantage taken now in all lanes by CJ Blaze. So in spite of dying more times and being out of the laning phase, Immunity, while keeping up early, is sliding backwards. And I'd love to see some more roaming from Cassidy as well. He's just seems to be happy farming up right now, but they need to convert this lead into something else. But we talked about this earlier, but they had problems closing against Energy Pacemaker as well. I didn't get to see that game, but you were casting it, and it seems like when they get a lead, they're too content just to sit with it and wait for the other team to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing of playing on the international stage and being still very new to competitive League of Legends at this level. Again, in Oceania, in Australia, they are the best team, and they're very good at closing here. Swiffer going to try and make something very creative happen here. Things like just poking back and forth. He wants the blue, but he's not going to get it, and Ambition is able to pick that one up. Could potentially look for a Dragon contest here. They at least want to try and clear some vision out, and there we are, going to throw down the pink ward, going to clear out the other one in there as well. But it wasn't so much that they're bad at closing games, it's just that when they had a lead, they weren't decisive with it in the game against Energy Pacemaker, and they really need to be decisive against players.
Yeah, they certainly do, because if this game continues, I mean, we see that gap getting closed simply because of the laning mechanics and the ability to last hit. So if you don't turn it into something now, and now is the time to turn it on, especially with this Cassidy, go use that. Go make some kind of play.
Yeah, Swiper here continuing to struggle in the top lane as well, so it's not like every single lane is winning here for Immunity, and they can just rest on that. There's a Culling actually coming through. Venom trying to get the kill down. Tibbers is dropped there on top of Emperor. He's trying to make it happen, but he can't quite get it done. Doesn't quite get the kill. His Ignite ticks away on Corky, and now Raider actually, he's in a lot of trouble. He basically wants the trade kill here, but Lustboy isn't going to let him have it. Emperor, oh nice barrier, actually forced to flash as well as Ambition. Moves through for the spear, but flash auto there for Lustboy. Manages to pick up the kill.
Yeah, very impressive play by Lustboy again. Getting right into the mix with the box one more time. It's the second time that Lustboy's really been responsible. And we talked about this coming into the game, but you were saying I haven't seen much of Team Immunity, but you're saying, oh yeah, their bot lane's really aggressive. I'm like, oh wow, well Lustboy and Emperor are really aggressive. There's probably going to be a lot of blood down there, and they're just going at it 2v2 every time and dying left and right. So pretty fun to see that kind of play already cropping up.
Yeah, big power jump here though for Corki. Emperor just picked up his Trinity Force, so the trades are going to get a whole lot less fair. Spook really wants to kill him onto Ambition. Good combo there as he gets the knock up in there as well. Literally forced to run away. He needs to come back up. Good flash there. There's the kill though as he flashes on top of that. Sorry, he's on top of that Nidalee.
Spooks' follow flashes have been really excellent this game. He's done a good job of keeping track of his opponent's cooldowns and when he can use the flash to pick up the kill, and that's the second one he's gotten after getting Daydream for that first blood. He's just doing a fantastic job. Yeah,
Immunity though really need to convert, and this is what I was hoping to have happen about 5 to 6 minutes ago.
Me too.
Yeah, this dragon here has Spook's very focused, as you can see there on your screen. Swiper as well, good trade up the top, so no one's going to roam down here. It's going to be a 4v3 here, and Swiffer really zoning out there. He looks very, very dangerous around this dragon as Corki attempts for the steal. Good smite though for Spooks, and Immunity finally pick up a global objective, but the turret goes down there actually as Blaze managed to pick up the bottom turret, and look at the gold, it's even.
Yep, dead even now after the dragon for turret trade, and they did it right in the a little bit tongue-tied right there, but they did it right in the nick of time too, because as that bottom turret went down, that would have been Blaze's opening to go for a dragon themselves. So Swiper again getting out of this top lane with very little HP, but Flame just, of course, sustaining himself with the roar from Rengar, and now the siege is really beginning. And this is where Blaze's team composition gets scary. This is where the 4-1 split starts. They've got so much poke, as you're saying, with the big power spike from the Trinity Force. And there we go!
Going in, Ambition could be in trouble, but Emperor blows up Annie there as Nidalee going to kite back Swiffer. In trouble as well, gets hit by a spear there as Nidalee picks up that one. The double for Emperor in there as well, as Spooks dove in there trying to pick up a kill and couldn't quite get it done. And Raider used his ultimate earlier to actually clear out a creep wave and did not have the option to use it in that team fight.
Yeah, a little bit tragic, but I mean, right there, that was actually a good decision by Immunity, because if you're facing this poke, and what I was about to say is Corki just gets the Trinity Force, Ambition's sitting there, he just picked up his Athene's Unholy Grail. This is a big power spike for Blaze, and they will sit there and they will poke you down forever. You have to all-in them at that point. So for Immunity, this wasn't actually a bad call. Venom gets in there, a little bit questionable use of the Timbers again. He's not quite hitting the ults like he would like to. Ambition comes back in on the Lantern, and they tried to give both kills over to him, but Emperor instead picks it up. No problem. But nice repositioning after that team fight. I agree with Immunity's decision to go all in on that there.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that if it's not their decision-making that might hurt Immunity in situations, it's their execution when they do make the right decision. And that just comes with experience. That comes with playing at this level here as Swiffer. Just going to poke in there onto Ambition, really chunking them down. I mean, one good fight with a bunch of ults up. Venom does have his flash available, can get that stun back and ready. They can really turn the team fight very quickly, but as you said, Monty, here is the siege you talked about. And Spooks really wants to go in there. Jumps on the Emperor, takes a little too much damage. The Darkflight pops in there as well, so still taking damage, but he's going to get out alive. Just Swiper pushing Flame back towards the turret. Does get the kill there as Venom picks it up.
Yeah, looks like Venom did pick it up with an Ignite tick right there. And impressively, Spooks actually managing to make it out alive. CJ really overcommitted to that. They had every opportunity just to continue to siege it there. Ooh.
Swiper, like, you did not get hooked there. That was a 4v5 as well for Immunity under that turret.
Yeah.
Blaze maybe a little overconfident when extending there.
Yeah, clearly. They didn't use their composition like they should in terms of, you want that Rengar split pushing. You really do. And then you can just safely siege with the Nidalee, with the Corki. You always have that disengage coming out of the Thresh.
Swiffer here going to get aggressive. So Venom flashing forward. There's the Timbers on top of Lustboy. That's going to give them yet another kill. So Immunity executing nicely on ganks and skirmishes, but again, need to keep getting objectives. I mean, they're 10 man up in kills, only up by 1, but Blaze up with the turrets and the Dragon. Nice steal from Spooks. Just casually walks in.
Yeah, it was a good spike steal right there. And this is actually very good by Team Immunity. They need to create these picks right now because they can't just sit there and defend turrets against the poke that's coming out of CJ Blaze. So they have to punish them during their rotations.
And that means move through, get aggressive ward stand if you can. I mean, one of my criticisms of Immunity in the Energy Pacebanker game was that they didn't ward nearly as effectively as they could have here. And of course, Korean teams are known for very strong warding, Monty. So Going to have to make sure they keep on top of that if they can.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of contesting vision right now, pushing the vision control into Blaze's jungle so they can catch it a little bit. Blaze is going to ping the pink ward that just got put down and cleared out one of their own. And here we go, Flame back to his classic split pushing ways, and he's really starting to take off in terms of that CS lead.
I mean, Shyvana, definitely a champion known for her split pushing, but has not really been able to contest so far. And he's 45 plus CS behind at this point. Does have a Sunfire cape, so that will make pushing back here against Rengar not too bad, but there's also the option of Flame could just kill him potentially, especially if he gets more items. So Flame's happy in this spot, and as you said, Blaze, when they were behind earlier on, really wanted Flame to make sure he got farm, and he definitely is.
Yeah, he's doing a good job too, and he's going to hit a pretty early combination of Spirit Visage and Sunfire Cape right here. And again, they're doing a good job of controlling the vision in their lanes. But, I mean, if you look at the total vision control on the board right now, Blaze has just put down so many wards. And with Dragon coming up in a minute and a half, it looks like they will try and move towards getting control of that side of the map a little bit earlier.
Yep, Spook's rotating down in there as well, trying to make something happen. It would have been a 2v2 because Aatrox was around, or Thresh, sorry, was around, but decided not to go for it. Dragon's up in just over a minute now as well, so that will be important. If Immunity can successfully contest, they'll actually close this gold gap here, and they'll likely be able to take an objective. In fact, they're going to go now. Spooks, they're straight onto Daydream. Lost Boy's all going to take some damage. Spooks really in the thick of it. Venom needs to get in there. Does not have his flash though. Drops the Tibbers. A great triple stun actually. And Swift is going to try and play cleanup as the Aatrox passive gets popped in there as well. Now Flame diving on top of Swift. Got to be careful. Swiper now finally joins the fray. Will get in there, but he's taking a lot of damage here, and they're kiting him back and forth. Picks up a kill on the Daydream. Swiper gets a kill. Swiffer, sorry, gets a kill on the Nidalee. A great stun again. There's Cassidy also goes down. Now Venom forced to run away there as Flame's just way too tanky. Nice E there from Raider over the ledge with the mana he had left. Flashes out in there as well. So many kills being traded back and forth. 4 for 3 in favor of Blaze there, but again, another good decision by Immunity to get aggressive.
It was a good decision, but again, it lacked a little bit of that execution. I mean, Lustboy right there, after he popped the box on the ramp, it separated Spooks from the rest of his team, as we're about to watch right here. So they get a good catch, and then they over-pursue it a little bit. And see, there's just Swiffer and Venom don't really know what to do. They back off. 2 members still go in. Spooks gets cut out. Venom landed a nice Tibbers right there, but this could have gone so much better for them if they were all just on the same page. I mean, Swiper comes in, he does get some damage down at the end, but they don't really have an answer to Flame, and Emperor is still at full HP and able to pick up a triple off of that. He now has 10 kills in this game, and if you have to look at where the gold's going, you know, on Immunity, yes, we're dead even in kills, but 5 of them are on this Xin Zhao. We're 10 now. 10 are on Emperor. He already has a Last Whisper, a Trinity Force, and a BF Sword at 21 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and that's a really, really bad thing for Immunity here. Is Dragon looks like it's going to go over to Blaze as well. And we said before, the gold lead looks good, but Blaze now a few thousand gold ahead in this one. They've been that way for about 5 minutes, it feels like, at this point as well. I mean, Immunity's still doing what they need to do. They just need to do it a little cleaner. And
it's just that there's that moment of indecision in that team fight that we saw from Immunity where 2 members go in, 2 members go back, and that is what kills you at the professional level. You have to trust your teammates enough that when a call is made, you go. You don't even think about it. You have to develop that level of synergy. When someone says something, you just react instantaneously, because whichever team reacts faster, you know, if both teams are trying to go into a team fight, is usually going to be the one who wins, because you get those abilities down. To Lustboy's credit, he did a great job of zoning with the box, but they had the initial damage, they had the burst, they had every opportunity to do well in that team fight.
Yeah, and Immunity, to just kind of expand a little on current history, their roster's actually quite new. And we said that Radiant talked about the new jungle and mid laner as an upgrade for the team, and certainly seeing them play in Australia, and even seeing them play here in this tournament, I would agree. But they're still not that experienced together as a team, and especially on the international level, they do not have that experience yet. So certainly, win, lose, or draw. I don't think we can have a draw in League of Legends, though. Immunity are going to be happy with the result and the experience they gain here. But you can tell that Blaze are just a team that have played at this level for longer. And it really, really shows. Oh, nice spear there.
Yeah, Ambition getting pretty scary as well. He's been struggling in terms of his KDA, but has still that CS lead as well as the advantage of a few extra global objectives. So getting quite strong with the needlessly large rod as well. And Blaze, see what they're doing, trying to maybe take away this blue buff. It's not there, and Flame continuing to split push. He has his Sunfire Cape right now.
Yeah, he's kind of set for items at this point. I mean, Swiper probably should not pick that fight there up against Flame. Just trading a little back and forth. I mean,
well, this is where we hit the kind of Rengar power trough. Is that basically Shyvana right now is tanky enough, especially with her passive as she gets more armor as she levels, that Rengar's not really going to be able to do any damage to her, and he also just probably isn't going to be able to clear as fast as she can either. So it's only going to be more of a threat when he starts actually getting some damage. You can see already Swiper is starting to shove him out in spite of a massive CS deficit. So
you'd love to see this from Immunity as well, powering down the mid lane here. I mean, they know that they're playing Blaze's game here. They're saying, okay, if you're going to 1-4, we'll 1-4 against you. They just need to use their Annie aggressively, use their Kassadin aggressively, and Spooks as well has been playing really solid and very aggressively as well. If they keep making good decisions and execute better, they'll absolutely have a good chance in this game. They're not that far behind, but you can't give Blaze too much time here. They've got so much experience. The Spooks there jumping onto Emperor, and he is the real threat here at 10-0.
Wow, Ambition caught out front.
That could be bad news. They're going to dive in. Swiper almost diving on there. The Carling Pop as well. Flashes forward in there. Everybody wants to go, but a little too deep here potentially. Forced to back off there. There's a very nice lantern from Lost by managed to get them out.
That's a bit of a shame. If Raider had saved the culling, they probably would have been able to siege better right after getting the catch and the damage down onto Ambition. So trying to pick up the kill, unfortunately doesn't get it. Now they have one less tool to clear out minion waves.
Venom's ult and flash is available now as well. So if they can find an initiation, they can maybe go. And CJ, see an opportunity here. Spooks goes really deep there. Emperor now legendary, or still legendary, as he takes out Zinjal. Venom gets himself grabbed. That's really bad news, as Loth's going to pick up that kill. Now Emperor continuing to get kills here, and he just does so much damage on Corki. Swiper going to run, eats a missile for his trouble, and almost gets himself killed. Looks like Swift is just going to be able to get out here. Swiper's going to try, but I think they're going to find him. And now Baron up for CJ Blaze.
Yeah, with 3 members down and the jungler taken out of the equation. Easy Baron, especially with how just incredibly far ahead Emperor is at the given time. I mean, you can see him, he's just melting through even Shyvana with a Sunfire like a hot knife through butter just by getting that last whisper so early on in this game.
I mean, Emperor's just had so much fun. Not only is he up in CS, but he has pretty much all the kills here. Swiffer going to visit his own blue buff, finds Blaze. That's not what he wanted to find. He wanted a blue buff. Going to get stolen away from him. And we'll recognize they have Baron now. Probably a pretty safe bet to say that Blaze would have picked up Baron in that spot. And this is the part where, I mean, Immunity are quite far behind at this point, about 6,500 gold. Oh, Swiffer walks back in there, face checks once again. Good flash out of the Dark Flight. The Depth Intent's almost in there as well.
I don't really know what he expected to find right there, because he was either going to find no blue buff or no blue buff and Blaze.
And he found the latter, unfortunately for him. Forced to use his flash here.
Yeah, really not worth the face check right there. You can assume that it's down. Get your put the timer in chat anyway, and not even take the risk that they're still porting out in that brush.
Turret goes down in the bottom. Immunity going to pick up their second turret here. Blaze actually only with the 3 turrets here, but clearly been able to control plenty of the map. I mean, Immunity going to try here. They're going to counter push after CJ's Baron. Probably going to have to back off pretty quickly. Do not want to get initiated on Swiper. Does back off there. They are going to go in, actually raid it. Quietly, his flame dies on top of him, and that's really bad news. He flashes and cullings. Although he does get out to his credit. Now still going through Venom all the way up to the side. There are Swipers in the middle as well. And everyone from Immunity is kind of silently backing off. His Swiper's going to get himself caught. He's absolutely dead as Flame picks him up. Now nearly around the side as well. Spear does come through. Ambition.
Yeah, Ambition's just going to toss spears. They've got to engage.
They do, and Swooks does go down there as Ambition picks that up. Now the hook coming out, does miss their Raider, ease himself out of the way. Darkflight almost gets 2. Nice rip walk there from Swiffer, but he's going to die here as well as Emperor completely cleaves through Immunity, and Raider, he's going to live for a little while longer. Maybe Ambition looking for the spear though. Doesn't quite find it.
No, instead just going to heal him up and face tank the turret, because that's what you do when you're Nidalee, I guess. He's going to get down very low in health, but does manage to make it out. Heals himself back up again. And, you know, I like the decision-making here from CJ Blaze. When there's Nidalee in the team compositions, we often see these AD carries now not picking up a Vampiric Scepter or any form of sustain, and just relying on Nidalee during extended sieges to heal them in case they get chunked a little bit.
Yeah, Blaze are going to get inhibited for their trouble. It's a very strong push there for them. Almost 10,000 gold in the lead here as well. Again, it was very close at one point. It's really been run away with by Blaze as well.
Well, I can see a lot of talent here in Immunity, and they've got the right idea a lot of the time, and they're making the proper decisions. They're just not quite as crisp in their execution. But if they can keep practicing together as a team, there really is a lot to like here.
Absolutely. I mean, it is Blaze though, and Blaze definitely execute perfectly almost every time.
Yeah.
So, at a valiant effort here, Immunity still in the game potentially.
Let's take a look at that again. I mean, Daydream getting a bit eager on the engage right here. Has to take the Lantern back out, but Flame just trying to chase them down. Nice use of the culling. They nearly turned around. Flame just a little bit too tanky right now. Missed Dark Flight there, but they re-engaged. You know, the big mistake right there was Swiper going in Dragon form and Shyvana after the rest of his team had already been chunked down. And then this is just, there's nothing you can do right here. Like, Spooks has to go in on Ambition, because otherwise Ambition will just run parallel and throw spears until they're all dead. So
yeah, Immunity, to their credit, actually counter pushing nicely after losing a few fights. So oh goodness, Flame. I mean, it's 1v4 maybe. I think Flame may be going to die here. Actually, 3v1, they send a couple back. Ult there from Flame's going to get him out. Ooh, that was a little troll.
No, this is actually really nicely done by Flame to delay the recall so that his team can continue to get a turret. Swiper gets caught out. He can't do that. He's going to melt against this Corki.
Yeah, Culling thrown out. Actually goes over the top out of his own base, but Emperor's going to find him. And this is going to be a very, very dead Shyvana. No missile misses. Not going to happen this time. But middle turret does go down though. That inhibitor in the mid now very much naked. CJ going to back off once again. Still have some time left on the Baron, but not too much. In fact, it's just run out there. Or just running out.
Yeah, Flame did end up dying somewhere in that exchange, so they did manage to turn it around, but not before he delayed enough to get the objective off of it. And with nothing really for Immunity to take right now, there's no Baron to counter with. It is a worthwhile trade.
Venom going to get grabbed up here. Dark Flight on top of him as well. The box popped in there, and Last Blood picks up yet another kill.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a nice pick right now. When you don't have very many wards on the map, like Immunity does, you leave yourself very vulnerable to Thresh overwall shenanigans.
It was shenanigans indeed. Now this mid inhibitor looks like it's going to get pushed down in here as well. Rengar not quite here yet. Spooks a little bit off to the side. They're trying to flank there. Radiant gets grabbed. Swiffer's getting dumped on as well. Zhonya's actually should save him for a little while longer. Needs a Riftwalk, though, does do so after flashing out there. The manages to live there. As Raider's still trying to do damage to Daydream. Passive looks like it's going to pop here as Emperor picks up the Gilder onto Spooks as Xin Zhao goes down. Now Raider, so much trouble there. As Emperor's just demolishing every single person here.
Yeah, it has to ult out of that fight just to stay alive. I mean, there's just no way you can run from him at this point. He's already completed his Infinity Edge in addition to everything else that he's got. So, and with the Führer enchantment as well, he can chase you forever. So, pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, now this tier 2 turret in the top is going to go down as well. CJ Blaze going to pick that one up. They already got the mid inhibitor just earlier as well. So 2 inhibs down now for Immunity. Not a whole lot of base structures left as Venom forced to flash out. There was warding and got caught on the wrong side of the wall. Blaze really just going to rile through this tower here, and Swiffer going to get himself grabbed. The Dark Flight on top of him. Riftwalk's out just there as Swipe is just trying to defend them off, but Blaze just so much power, so far ahead at this point. Just they're going to take every structure here at this point, I think, and yeah, win the fun way.
Well, right now, you can see Blaze just backing off. They know there's only a minute left. Go out, clear out the buffs, give Ambition the blue, go by, then prepare for Baron. So perfect timing from them, giving themselves just enough time to go back, heal up, and show up at the Baron with about 20 seconds to spare in order to clear wards, if there are any, which of course there aren't at the moment, before they re-engage onto that objective.
And Immunity pretty much stuck in their base. I mean, they're looking to Baron here. I think they want to set up a cute little brush camp here potentially. But I mean, if they Desperation Baron, no, they're checking it as not up yet. So even if they wanted to, they couldn't try it. Yeah. Do throw down a ward, so have a little bit of vision, but...
Well, it doesn't matter. There's plenty of time for CJ to clear, so...
And they do clear the one ward
very
quickly.
That was a really great play by CJ. They didn't want to push it too far back. They didn't want to chance it by dying at the inhibitor, even though they probably could have gotten it. They're just playing very clean, very deliberate and safe League of Legends right now.
Baron's going to be up in 10 seconds here. They're going to set up for it now. And it's going to be practically impossible for Immunity to contest. I mean, not all the inhibitors are down. They can maybe get out of their base and try and force a steal, but it's going to take a lot here. And CJ going to melt this Baron.
There's not a lot that they're going to be able to do to stop it right now. Pretty much an absolutely uncontestable Baron for CJ Blaze, and there it goes. Easy as can be.
Indeed, and now Blade's going to rotate up towards the top lane. Take out the last few structures here. Inhibitors are respawning now for Immunity, at least the bottom one has. But it's going to take a pretty miracle defense here for Immunity to hold this push off.
Emperor, what a game from this guy. And there were questions about Corki post-nerf, but Emperor has continued to play him while he's fallen out of favor with a lot of other AD carries. And 15-0-5, hard to argue.
They're going to try here. Looks like Swiper coming in hot, dodging the Shyvana as the Dragon's Descent comes in. They're taking a little too much damage. The Swiffer's trying to kite them back and forth. Last play again picks up the kills. Emperor, just so many kills this game. 2 kills down already from Meteors. Venom gets jumped on there as well by Dark Flight. And Blades are going to chase him to the base if they have to. Ambition looking to get low. Swiffer really wants to kill him as his last act here. Nice on Muse actually gets himself out of the way. Going to walk back into the fountain. Does manage to get out from under Dark Flight.
Very nice rift walk there to get himself out of the situation. He's still trying to hunt Ambition right here. Flame ties him up.
If there's one thing he can do before he dies, it's slay Ambition. But I don't think he's going to get a chance. So Blaze here, wailing on the next immunity. Swiffer finally goes down. He gives himself up to Daydream. Good game, well played. CJ Blaze undefeated here at WCG in groups.
Yeah, very nicely done by them. And impressive play early on. Immunity really gave them a run for their money. Got that early lead. Looked impressive in picking up the kills, and they could certainly, if they can figure out how to team fight a little bit better, how to get those calls where everybody's responding to them just a little bit faster, they have a strong shot at, you know, doing well in the international scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to me. I think the best way to explain it, especially for Australian fans, is that whenever you play Immunity, a lot of teams who have a chance against them look like Immunity did here against Blaze. And of course, when Immunity come internationally, they have exactly the same problem. They're a strong team with a lot of good chances and a lot of really strong players, but it's really hard to play this level because, as you said, everyone's just so tight and so coordinated.
Yeah, but at the same time, you got to really... They've got a lot of experience from being at this event.
Absolutely.
Because this is the first time that they've been competing with a team the caliber of Blaze. And what you can learn from that experience and going back and reviewing it is immense. So very valuable for them. They may not be making it out of the group stage, but they'll take these lessons, I'm sure. So.
Oh yeah, they'll be very, very happy with their performance here in this tournament. So with that, we are done for League of Legends group stage, I believe, for WCG.
We are, but we'll be back tomorrow as we start up the quarterfinals. I'm excited for that, getting into some best of series, and it's going to be good. So, and look at that. Thu beat Lucifer right there, of course, earlier on today, and the Sora versus Max at StarCraft 2 games were apparently quite good.
Yep, now we see the result we just had there. Blaze taking out Immunity there. Some of the Street Fighter results in there as well. It's been fun. So many cool games here at WCG.
Yeah, we've been casting some Warcraft 3. It's been a great time.
Warcraft 3 is very, very fun.
We both have our roots,
That's
so
true.
It's very exciting.
Anyway, you guys can catch all the action tomorrow as well. We've got quarterfinals coming up for League of Legends. Same as there for Warcraft as well. And finals for Street Fighter. And more quarters and semis for StarCraft and LoL.
Yeah. So be sure to stay tuned and stick around, and we will be back with you guys tomorrow for some more games of all these different varieties. So thanks a lot for watching the World Cyber Games today, and we'll catch you tomorrow.